We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. But we are against those.
Something big about to happen. I hear the beat tapping. We some fly rhyming felines rapping on the track. Better yet, grab a gat, cause we hot like Enzo. Doors closed, windows up, cause that's the way we like to ride. Windy City hitting. Check mic 1 2 1 2. We live, baby.
Yo, what's up, Chicago? And welcome back to episode 565 of Speak Your Mind Radio. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Queen Star, aka MzHipHop. And today is a special edition episode of Hip-Hop Newz with a Z. I got my friend and my homeboy here, Train from the DMV area. We're going to be discussing a slew of topics, like from the Tamar Braxton story to the Lil Nas X story. And we're going to be talking about some albums that just recently dropped from Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist called Alfredo 2. And then we got the new joint Offset, Kiara. Okay. And then, yeah, so just stay tuned and watch us flow. What's up, Train?
How you doing? How you been?
I've been good. How about you?
I've been doing all right this week, hanging in there, trying a couple new things or whatever. Went to this new breakfast spot called Rise Up around here or whatever. Had some coffee. It was pretty nice or whatever. I think I got it on YouTube.
Yeah, I did see that joint on there, and I was like, that looked like a cool little breakfast spot to hit up, you know, especially when you just chilling and everything, you know?
For sure.
So, what's been on your playlist lately? What you been listening to?
Recently, as far as something to get my adrenaline pumping, the nudie joint with Project Pat and 21 Savage most definitely has been getting me going, get the blood flowing a little bit. But then on the chiller side, Isaiah Falls has most definitely been in my playlist.
Oh, I never heard of that artist before. What's his name?
Isaiah Falls.
What's the name of the song?
One of the songs is called Florida Baby. I believe I shared that one as well.
Okay. All right. That sounds cool. I do know that Young Nudie Ice-T song. I like that joint too because I ain't gonna lie. Project Pat, he brought that song to life more so because of his down south flow and his impeccable rhyme scheme. You know, just the way he rapped. Like, I don't know no other rapper that do it like he do it. You know what I'm talking about?
It's funny that you would say that about Project Pat, because he most definitely is a good example of a lot of people. You can imitate whatever you want to imitate, but then when you hear the originator do it, when you hear the person that originally does it do it, well, it comes across different. So every time I hear Project Pat come across the beat, you're just like, yeah, this is it, yeah. It doesn't matter what anybody else does on here after this. We're here for the hook now. No, he did the hook, well, we're here for the hook now.
Yeah, facts. Speaking of facts, here's a little fun fact. Did you know Project Pat, he retired from gangsta music, so to speak, you feel me, to being like a minister to not youth advocates, but people like this in jail that did like wrong things and they want to repent, and he's trying to like, you know, have them follow God so they can live a better life. And I think that's really cool or whatever, because he got that idea from his dad. His dad was an ordained minister. And then Project Pat had a spiritual awakening like in 2020. And I like, that's so cool, man.
Listen, just because we're speaking of that area, shout out to 3-6, Country Black. I saw him, the last time I see him was on a Memphis challenge. And he killed it. So shout him out.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out. Okay, well, let's see. I've been listening to Joey Badass, his song Dark Aura.
Mm-hmm.
And that song came out August 29th, 2025, obviously. And I think that was the best song to drop right before his album, Lonely at the Top. You feel me? I just think it was the best album to drop. I mean, the best song to drop right before that, because they pushed his shit back from August 1st to the 29th. And that was bogus, like really bogus. You feel me?
How far back did they push it?
To the end of the month, from the 1st to the 29th.
What?
Yeah. with no explanation from his record label.
Yeah, that's dirty work.
For sure. But
You never want to see somebody get their shit pushed back.
Right, is exactly in any aspect, right? So my thing is always, I'm telling you, it's always a blessing in that delay, because either it's redirection because due to alignment, or it's because, which this is my opinion, all these albums that dropped beginning of August, like Jonas Lucas, ADHD 2, Tyler the Creator, Don't Tap the Glass. I mean, all these albums that was coming out, rolling out, it would have felt like Joey Badass album would have got drowned out. You feel me? And then the Clips album came out too. So I think this was the right time for the album to drop, even though it's a whole bunch of other albums that dropped too, but he just fits better in that category of music to me.
Do you feel it was the possibility that it does have something to do with timing, but the music industry sees the shift? So a lot of those artists at one time that were kind of getting their stuff sitting on the shelf because they were saying that it wasn't commercial. Now that they see that the tide is kind of changing, they're kind of letting them get some free will.
Yeah.
Do you think that could possibly be something?
Something like that. I think they got free will to do what they need to do, but as long as you're under a record label, you're not gonna have that much freedom, creativity wise, to do things like that. Like, he couldn't go back and forth with his label, like, why you ain't dropping on the 1st versus the 29th, and they really not giving him an explanation, but I think it worked out best in the end.
Yeah, but not even necessarily the back and forth, but just as far as for the genre. Like, ever since everything happened with Kendrick Lamar, in all honesty, the shift that kind of had the industry, even before with people like Ab Soul, when they would try to put out albums, you were hearing about a lot of artists, you're doing something that's abstract and not necessarily going to hit that bottom line. So they would like kind of sit them on the shelf so they don't get the albums that attention. Could it be more so now that they were just looking at it like, hey, yeah, this is the perfect time to get out of his way right now, because this is the swing that the music is going on. And that possibly, I feel like we will see a lot more, at least within this next year, of artists coming out within that field. I mean, we already have, in all honesty, we had Chance the Rapper just dropped as well.
Yep, Slime, for sure.
And, that's an eclectic album as well. That's not necessarily an area-driven album.
Facts.
Hopefully they're just getting the drift. Yeah,
they're getting the drift. And that drift is become more independent. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no record label. Okay, so let's get into some of this hip-hop news. Dang, it's a lot been going on. Did you hear about the Tamar Braxton story? She was hospitalized after a serious accident the weekend of August 16th through the 17th. And she was found in a pool of her own blood, supposedly. And she had missing teeth, a fractured nose. Did you hear about that?
I heard a little bit of something about that on the Breakfast Club.
Right. So backtrack. Do you think that really was just a PR stunt that she pulled?
I can't answer a question like that, because in my heart, I would want to believe that a human isn't going to go to those lengths. You know what I mean? To fake bodily injury for 15 minutes of fame. Because that story is not even just in the headlines anymore.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. It's more sadder that I don't know what to believe. It was a point in time when I could have seen this article and just took it for what it was. But the fact that there are other people that have credible sources that believe that it could possibly be a hoax is just, I let it pass me in the news cycle. So the question comes, what do you think?
Well, based off the story itself, I think it possibly could have been another one of her antics. I think she been going through it since she tried to take her own life in 2020, and her family, her sisters even say that she's a attention seeker, and she is, because at one point when she was in the hospital, she showed a picture of her hooked up to IVs and stuff, and her fans asking her, are you okay? What happened? And she will reply, mind your business. Well, why post it then? You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to attention seek. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. Yes, this is true. It's still a hard one for me with that one on attention seeking. So I would say this. She was so terrible of an attention seeker. She was singing half of the backup vocals, majority of the backup vocals for Tony Braxton on her first few albums. You never just seen her be like trying to shoot on the sister until she finally got her chance to shine. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that she wouldn't or couldn't do it, especially nowadays because of the way that popularity is kind of leveraged. But still, there's just to knock your teeth out like on some play shit. Oh man, nah, I can't believe she was just sitting around freestyling like that.
I mean, that you know what? There was another story in Hollywood. Halle Berry, she had her hearing like taken away, like not, it's like damaged because somebody knocked her in her head in Hollywood, and she wouldn't say who it was. So everybody thought it was her ex-husband that had done that. And
yeah, I'm gonna hit to that one.
Yeah, I'm saying like stuff like that could happen. Maybe she did get her teeth knocked out.
But that's different though. What she did was trying to lie by omission. You didn't lie on him, but you didn't say nothing. When you know it could have just been easily of you just being like, no, it wasn't this guy. That shit is some thin line between love and hate shit where you beat yourself with an orange.
Yeah.
And then you laying in the hospital bed being like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? That's a different level of crazy.
Yeah, I hate to say.
Oh man, I don't want to listen, yo. There's a case they need to get back into the church. You know what I mean? They need to get back with their mom, get back into the church. It's like, man, they got some demons, man.
Right. I feel you on that. But I mean, it's just safe to say that it possibly was a PR stunt because it was circling around her album that was supposed to come out, Heartbreak Retrograde. And she had so much backlash from that story that she said that she's not releasing the album. Well, if you're not releasing the album and the story was true, then what's the problem? You feel me?
I just would feel like, even in my mind, like at some point, like, I mean, I guess not when it comes to ideas and shit, like you would see, like you would figure that wouldn't work. Like that's not really a thing right now anymore. Being able to do that, like once people get hip to it, it's pretty much cooked. Everybody's already kind of hip to the, oh man, this is kind of a stunt. This is the stunt. Even to get to the other story. You know what I mean? As soon as something happened, people will smell it all over. So I would hope, once again, to be like, all right, you wouldn't be that stupid to think that would work for you.
Yeah, those are facts right there. I don't think she thought that one all the way through at all. But moving on to another crazy ass topic. Lil Nas X, like he was arrested August 21st, 2025 after being spotted like walking down the street basically naked and allegedly charging at police officers. So my question is, I know you know the story already, do you think that this young man was really on drugs, or was he just possibly having a mental breakdown, like his father said?
Said I don't know about Tamar, and then I had a bunch of shit to say.
Oh.
In this situation, I can truly say, I don't know. Everything that he does, when they say he not on drugs, make me think he on drugs. So I feel like he might have just been in his regular state. Like, they put that on him as well with the, he had some music dropping, so possibly this was a stunt before the music dropped. I don't know.
That's crazy. Like, that's crazy because the reason why I say it's crazy, you did all that for attention around some new music that's dropping. In reality, his mom is homeless on the streets in Atlanta due to her drug addiction. So you see the correlation here. Like the apple don't fall too far from the tree.
Yeah. So possibly he has an addiction problem. Mm-hmm. It's one of those, like, it's hard sometimes with speaking on these people at that distance because it makes it where though either I need more of your backstory to make a credible opinion, have a credible opinion about it, or you just got to be like, you know what I mean? You was. It's bad enough to say that in the world that we're in, him walking down the street in the drugs shouldn't have been the problem. That shouldn't have been a reason for anybody to call the police. With the things that people are wearing nowadays, that shouldn't have been the cause for alarm. That's the first thing. So to feel like people were calling the police because they just saw that is kind of weird. You know what I mean? All right. But it's just too weird. Everything seems so weird nowadays. You know what I mean? Everything got a little stink on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to distinguish what the truth really is, especially nowadays in this weird Hollywood type style, I think what he did when his new music dropped, he can redo that in his video. And so people, I don't know. I just think it's messed up though, because now he got to attend an outpatient drug rehab program for allegedly having drugs in his system and calling it some type of overdose or something. And I guess he's going to get the help that he needs, because that's just messed up.
I mean, at the end of the day, so then it's a good thing. On either shoe, it's a good thing. If you're saying that his mother has drug problems, that means possibly it could run into his system, you know what I mean, by genetics. Or he'll be predisposed to being an addict. So he's there. Hopefully he'll get the help he needs, you know what I mean? And then if he's just playing around with it, then you still learn your lesson for getting to sit in the jail, in this communal jail for a while, and not move around.
Right. Basically, he was in there for like 4 or 5 days, but anyway, let's just move on from that story, because I'm kind of ready to get into some music. Ain't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm using my phone real quick. All right, so as y'all know, Offset's new album, Kiara, came out on August 22nd, 2025, and the album is actually named his real name, his government name. And the album is so freaking awesome. It's dope because the whole setup with the therapist, like he made a video for every freaking song, and it's just wild. Like, I don't know. I love it. I watched all of them and I'm just like, dang, this boy really is getting in his feelings, getting his stuff out, because he just is, So did you hear the album yet? And what were some of your standout tracks?
Yes, I did listen to the album. For me, the Offset and Gunna, Different Species, I liked that track. Most definitely, it was a good track for me. He had the other track on here with YF and Lucci, Comeback. It was like a comeback track to me. Whereas though when I heard it, I was like, all right, this is kind of a motivational, get back to it. You know what I mean? You can't beat me down type vibe or whatever. So I enjoy that song as well. But most of the song, I mean, is terrible as it is, he has a consistency with him. You know what I mean? So when I was hearing, I'm like, yeah. It stayed true to the vibe of what he usually does.
Yeah, most definitely. I do like Offset. I like his style. I like his music. Not just because he was married to Cardi B, but his last album, shoot, we got 10 minutes. Hold on, because I ain't gonna say all this in one breath. But his last album that came out was dope or whatever. So I do follow him and everything like that. But it's just, this album speaks volumes. One of my standout tracks was Never Let Go, featuring John Legend. I think it's the 16th track. And it was dedicated to the Migos member Takeoff, and his death date is coming up November 1st, when he died in Houston at that bowling alley. And it was the perfect time for him to roll out, his feelings, because his last album he didn't have no dedication to Takeoff, because I think he was still mourning,
Yeah.
I like the line in which he says, hard to see my nigga in that grave. This shit crazy. I give all this shit back just to get you back. Tatted on my back. Know you got my back. The chains and the ice don't amount to that. Lost my nigga, lost my dog. I can't handle that. Like, it's really heartfelt because, like I said, I just said it, like he was going through a lot. He lost his wedding ring. He said that in the song. He had nobody to talk to about that, When Takeoff died, he was still married, whether the shit was fucked up or not, he was still married. And it's just like, you want to call your best friend on the phone and tell them, like, I'm really going through it, bro. Like, I need your assistance. I need you to have my back. You feel me? Yeah, that song, like I said, really touched me. But my second standout track would have to be Love You Down. I love this particular track strictly for the 1986 Love You Down sample by Ready for the World. And I think this track had like 3 different producers on it, and one of them was London on the track, and he produced the whole discography for Summer Walker, because that's her baby daddy. And but they're not together now. But anyway, that's just to show you the amount of production work that went into this album, so to speak. So yeah, those are my two favorite songs.
Also, Gab, I didn't even think about it. I also got the song on here with Key Glock, to Run It Up.
Yeah,
I did like that joint too. I did like that. I did enjoy that song too. I see he took a couple of little jabs on there or whatever towards Quavo. Well, people are kind of assuming that whatever, was saying that he's not his brother inside of the song. But the vibe of it, once again, was consistent to the energy that he usually gives off. It was funny that you said something about the song that he did for Takeoff, because I do feel like it was a classy move, most definitely, not to put it on that album right after he passed away. You know what I mean? Because if you did, I feel like people would or could have the room to look at it like you're trying to capitalize on it. So to see him put it on a later album and still do it, I think that was a classy move.
Yeah, most definitely a chess move, in my opinion. Whether it happened naturally through the alignment of the universe or his record label said, yo, you should blah, 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 whatever. But yeah, and then also to keep his memory alive too, because that shit was back to back, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But y'all, we're gonna do a part 2 because let me see. I think we only got like 3 more minutes on this joint, and I don't want it just to cut off or nothing like that. So the part 2, we're gonna be talking about Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist's new album, Alfredo 2. So we'll be back. I love y'all. Peace.